2.
Hey everybody, welcome to the arcade stream. I'm Shannon, I'm at Checkout on the MakeCode forums.
And I'm Daryl, at Darzu on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Joey, at jwanderl on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Richard.
And
Richard on the MakeCode forum.
And I'm Vivian, at FlipTrip on the MakeCode forum. I hate this. Shannon, the days you drive are the worst. Just for me.
Cool. I do have to resist, I don't know, filling myself in after Richard on the days where I start.
I was pausing so I would let the rhythm go, like if Richard were to say it, but then he just took the opportunity.
Cool. Okay, so I think let me show you guys a game we made a couple days ago. This is a gachapon game, which is where a device where you put in a coin and then you get out like a little plastic sphere, and inside is, a toy of some kind. And this one is called Animals with Jobs. So you can put in coins and you get different animals with jobs. Vivian, Joey, and Richard drew all of these animals with jobs. Ostrich Olympian.
This was the best day of the year so far for me.
The puffer firefighter.
These are incredible.
Right? So this made me very, very happy. I love this gachapon machine. And I wanted to make more, but we didn't want to just do the same game twice. So I think the plan for today is a combination of ideas from Richard, Joey, and Vivian, which is you're going to be in like a little city, and you can drive up to like a gachapon machine, and that machine will, have a theme. It'll have different items, and then after you get the items, you can play like a mini game using the item that you have, and the rarity of the item will, impact different stats in the game. How does that sound to people?
I love it. It seems ambitious.
It seems very ambitious. So we'll see. I'm not gonna do a ton for the driving or anything. I think I'm just gonna start with the get something out of a machine and then play a game in it. So what do we have? We have some roads. Just gonna do this. Oh yes, and this is road and sort of car themed because we are holding a game jam. Does someone want to talk about the game jam?
Traffic jam. It's a game jam about so a game jam is basically a hackathon where you make games for stuff, and we have run a few so far, but for this one, it's traffic themed. So any game that you can make that's themed around cars or travel or traffic or ants, I don't know, things with traffic in them, then you can submit it to our game jam and we'll pick the best ones and they'll end up on the home screen for MakeCode for a while. And it ends October 5th, I think is what it is. Yeah. Right. So you can find out more information on our forum and also if you go to makecode.com/gamejam. arcade.makecode.com/gamejam.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay. So this is for now our little gachapon machine. It's just gonna live by the side of the road, and I'm gonna shrink this tile map to be just cool. All right. And then I'm also going to set the background color to grass, something. And I'm going to make a player character, which I guess will just be a person.
An owl.
An owl? Okay. Let me try and draw an owl.
This was just me trying to get Shannon to draw an owl.
I like birds in general, but I kind of dislike owls.
What?
That's an insane opinion.
They're freaky. They just stare at you, and their eyes are so
Owls
big.
are great. They sometimes wear those mortar board things from colleges because they're smart.
Mm-hmm.
And they you know, are mysterious. And they say who.
And then what do you tell them? I don't know.
They're full of
It's
wisdom.
better than other birds though, where I just need to like chirp, chirp, chirp. I can't do that, but I can do who.
You can chirp back at them. You'd be like, and they'll be like, what the heck? Fly away.
All right.
This owl looks like he needs sleep.
His owl had a rough.
There. Right. And then let's do like wings, I guess. Okay.
Those are great.
And I'm going to go into controller, move owl with buttons. Cool. So now we have sort of, you know, a little world. We have our owl who moves around it. And then we have this vending machine thing. And so I think you're going to have to stand next to it. And maybe just like press a button to like activate. How does that sound to folks?
Yeah, I've never used one of these machines
Feel
before,
like this.
so I don't know if that's how they work.
So I'm gonna do a
I've
thing
used
we
like
do.
a gumball machine before though, right?
Yeah, but those don't have buttons.
No,
these
they're
have-
basically the same.
Oh,
You put in your money, then you turn a crank.
That's why they're in little round things.
Ooh.
It doesn't just come out.
What?
You have to turn a crank.
I think so.
Mm.
I mean, you turn the little thing, just like, you know, for a gumball machine.
I'm sure there's
I thought you put
fancy
the
ones
coin
that are automatic when you put in a coin, but that's too fancy for us.
Wait, Richard, have you done this in real life before?
I have, yes.
What did you get?
I got a variety of things. I got some like mushrooms that were like people. They were pretty cool.
From a gachapon, not from.
I got like it was like a person who was squished under things, but in a really cute way.
Was it the same person being squished by different things?
Mm-hmm. And the idea was you could like take your coffee mug and put it on top, and it would look like it's being squished by your coffee mug.
So what I'm doing right now is I made a button sprite. I set it to invisible, and then if you're standing next to one of these machines, I'm going to put it on top of the machine and show this to indicate they have to press the A button. Sorry, continue, Richard.
No, I just have confirmed. Crank is a central part of the experience. They have like a big thing in the middle that you turn.
I'm so glad we have a first-party source on this now.
Okay, well,
Get that far.
that makes me feel better about this because you're only going to be able to activate these machines from the left because that's where the crank is. So
It's not really a crank. It's more like a dial, you know?
well, ours is a crank. Okay. I already drew the crank. I'm going to move it onto the tile and then make it visible. Or I guess I'll move it on top of.
Do you maybe want the tile maps extension?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there a way to do this without?
I mean, math, but that's obnoxious stuff.
Yeah. All right. I'll add an extension then. Tile maps. Cool. So what I want to do is I want to place the button on the tile to the left of the owl and then move it up so it's above this little like vending machine thing. So we have this extension, which was made by Richard and Daryl. And it has a bunch of really convenient blocks down here, which is the tile map location of the sprite. So I can get the location of the owl, and then I can get the location left of the location of the owl. And then I can place this button. Oh, this is the random one. I can place this button on this specified location.
Did we want location above that location so that it's on top of the vending machine?
Yeah, that's true. I could just stack them instead of doing math. So, all right, let's see how this goes. So I go to the left one, and then I go up one. And then I'm going to make this button visible. Here. And otherwise, it will be invisible again. Whoops. Visible off, invisible on. All right, let's see. Cool. And then if I added another one, I think we should be able to get the button to show up here. Cool, perfect. Okay, so then if you press the A button, you will get an item from this machine. So, and I think what it's going to do is it's going to cost you some money. So we're going to start with a couple coins, and you'll only be able to play if you have like score, and then you can earn more by playing the game associated with this. Cool. So then on A button pressed, let's see. I do want to be able to identify which machine we're at.
I think you might have to do different tiles for the different ones. That way they'll be visually different too.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. It's a good call. So let me duplicate this tile and I'll make it a different color. Make it blue.
All right. Hey, Vivian, if you had a gachapon machine, what would you put in it?
Something that was practical. I really like the idea of the splat people. So not just for joy, but for work too. Maybe like little glasses that you can put on things. Wacky glasses. You can put on like light switches.
Very, very practical.
Thank
So
you.
they wouldn't have the going back part. It would just be like the front part of the glasses.
But wouldn't you need the going back part for like structure to attach it?
Okay, so maybe like some of them do and some of them don't. So that you can, for like a light switch, you would need to just, paste that guy on there.
Yeah. I like it because it also indicates if you use this switch, you will be able to see better.
All right. Okay. Well, I hope Joey and Daryl were preparing while we were having that conversation. Joey?
I want smaller gachapon machines.
Also a good answer.
So
Oh my
you can
gosh.
place them. And I think that we should do that in this one. I think that would be a good idea. So that one of the mini games is placing more gachapon machines.
All right, Daryl?
Okay, I'm drawing a blank.
What about like mini tools? Like you have a small hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Always
and
down
Small
for mini
circles of rare woods.
Oh
Everyone
man.
knows to cut. Yeah, actually, that would be pretty cool. And everyone knows that to work with small pieces of wood, you need small tools.
Richard, what would you want?
Mine was kind of similar to Joey's. It was going to be a gachapon capsule with another gachapon capsule inside, but Joey kind of scooped me on that one.
Wait, what do you mean another gachapon? Just like 2 capsules with nothing in the middle?
It's like a Christmas
and
present.
like
wrapped-
the
that's a
prize
Christmas
was
present.
the capsule, but not the outer capsule, the inner capsule.
I feel like that is distinct from Joey's.
But it's in a similar vein, you know.
It's true. Yeah, nested gachapons.
Great minds, Joey.
Okay, so I want to associate basically a bunch of sprites with this location, but I'm thinking it might be easier to just put like a sprite over it and put a bunch of data on that sprite.
Could we make an array of tile images, and then we can use that index to get the array of? Nah, I think your solution's better.
Okay, yeah, I'll do mine for now, I guess. Does sprite data take arrays?
No, but if you use my extension, you can use arrays.
Oh, perfect. Wait, your object one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do that, because then I can do like entire objects anyway, right? So what is it? Rick Knoll.
Give me a second.
I will make a function for setting up. Means and then
Is it block object, one word?
Yes, that is what it is, but there it should be noted that I'm moving this one to a different repo. So it's still going to be the same extension, but it's going to be moving somewhere else, which is actually, I think you can use the new one.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, on each of these tiles, they're different colors. So I'm going to make like a different sprite. And then I'm going to like, I don't know. And then I'm going to save a bunch of stuff on it.
It is Microsoft/arcade-block-objects.
Block objects. There we go.
Just hasn't been added to the approved list yet.
Block object. Awesome. So I haven't used this one, but I'm excited to dive in. Cool. So first I'm making a sprite. I'm going to make it a little bigger than the machine is, and I'm going to fill it right now so we can see where it is, and I will put it on top of the appropriate machine. So I'm going to start with this one. Cool. Oh wait, no, that not calling this function.
Is that a quarter?
So
No.
is that a quarter?
No, you
That's a
weren't
quarter.
confused.
Cool. Okay. Oh, someone else can keep track of the quarters. And then I'm going to, store an object. So I'm going to create empty object. Yeah.
Yep.
Set and rename this to. All right. So I'm making an empty object and I'm storing it directly on this data sprite. Now I'm going to fill this object with stuff. Ooh, perfect.
So for
Well,
each type, you get the type, and you get a has property, and you get a array of that type.
oh, perfect. Okay, so yeah, I want an array of images. Yeah, So I'm going to start with maybe just like 2 tiers of rarity. So cool, and then I can name this so common and
Uncommon.
uncommon. Okay, and then these I think are going to be vehicles of some kind. So if you guys could draw, yeah.
Do we have a size?
I think 16 by 16, just because we're gonna have to use them in a game later. So for now, I am just gonna fill these with cars from the gallery. But
So you want us to just-
perspective? Like what perspective should we use?
facing the same direction as this car, facing right. Is that also right?
Yeah, so facing right and yeah, okay.
Yeah. So the game that I have in mind is it's going to be like a button masher racing game, or I don't know, some kind of game where you have one button and you press it either very fast or in some kind of like rhythm, and that will make your car go. Cool. So I'm just sort of differentiating these for now. 4 cars. Common, uncommon. Perfect. So then when you're overlapping with a data thing and you're pressing the A button, we will take away 1 coin from you, and then we're going to give you like an item. So if A button is pressed, and actually I'm going to also check in here to see if you have, enough money to play this game. So if and A button is pressed and score is greater than 0. Cool. Then I'm going to change the score by -1. So, and call get prize with this other sprite. Great. And get prize, for now, I think I'm just gonna pick a random object and show it. We'll see how the rest of it goes. So block object. What do we do? These are images, and I can, yeah, cool. So if I go into block object, the subcategory image, because I have an image array, and then I have this get image array. So just like the sprite data you've seen us use, it has, set and get. So here I'm going to do, let's see, if, all right, make a variable random item, and I'm going to set the random item to a number between 0 and 10. And I think we can change this to scale by number of objects later, maybe. But for now, if it's less than 2, so that means you have a 20% chance to get an uncommon one. 30% chance. Yeah, less than or equal to. Otherwise you'll have a common one. So new variable item images, get item uncommon. And this is the data. Oops. Oh.
So
It doesn't like this, this sprite. Yeah. What am I? Oh, I have to get the object out of the, yeah. My bad. All right. So first I get the object out of the sprite, and the object is just a thing that holds all of our image arrays. And then from the object, I get the array that I want. So uncommon and common. And then I'm just going to pick a random item from this, whichever array we have right now. So new variable item, sprite of kind, item, and maybe what I want is sprites so that I can put more things on them. Let's leave this for now. All right, and then a random item from an array, which will be getting the value at a random index between 0 and the length of the array -1. And this is item images. This is also item images. Great. So let me just try this out. I should be able to walk up to here, press the A button. Cool. It is always the same one. Let me put a lifespan on this so that it destroys itself. Item lifespan 2. There we go. I think it's overlapping very frequently is the first problem. And then okay. Am I using get and remove? No. What do you guys think is happening here?
Running out of money?
Oh,
yeah, you're running out of money.
right. Thank you, Vivian. Cool. So that is the code doing the thing we told it to do, which is checking to see if we have enough money to keep playing. All right. Do we have cars?
We have cars.
Okay, so this one's from Joey. Nice.
My car is a helicopter.
One's from Daryl. Monster truck?
Yep.
Awesome. This one's from Vivian. Whoa. I love it.
I really want a scooter.
And this one's from Richard. Awesome. Scooter, monster truck, monster truck. Perfect. And then I'm out of money. Okay, so now we have these machines. I'm also going to set this data to invisible. visible on. Okay, so this is all of our setup code. This is our getting prize code, and this is just sort of display buttons. So the next thing to do is once you get a thing, I think, should we just like launch into the game, or do we give people an option on like whether or not they want to play?
Like, I think probably an option, right? Or maybe there's like something that you walk up to in the world.
Ooh, okay, yeah. So let's see. I could like maybe, I'm not sure this will work if you play like multiple times. Maybe for now it'll just be you get the thing, and then underneath it will be like start game, yes or no?
Sure.
Do you think? All right. I guess that is a menu. I don't know. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is
I mean, you could just pick whatever the last one you got was, right? Like if we just keep track of the last one you got, and then you walk up to like, I don't know, a checkered flag.
Yeah, I'm into that. I like maybe fewer display components. Okay, so this is going to be a race flag, a start flag, because you don't know what kind of game you're starting necessarily, I guess.
This is a better idea than mine, which was we should make it a bank. And what kind of bank accepts toys and gives out free money?
I don't know. Sign me up for it though.
I don't know if I even have any toys.
In your life?
Yeah, like around. I don't know. I don't have any way of accumulating them.
Okay, but you have stickers.
I have stickers. Do those count?
They're in adjacent categories for sure. But I have toys. They're fair.
All right. So on sprite of kind player overlaps flag. And what did I make? I made this an item, I think. I'm also going to save it on the owl. So, so now I do need to add, or no, I can just use the object one, same as before, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm making, or I guess I should this item. And I'm going to store the item object on the owl. Cool.
I'm drawing my next car, but I think I chose something that I need more pixels for.
I'll make a regular looking car so people understand the theme.
Okay, so I'm saving our current item on the owl, and then I am going to set like a lifespan on the item on screen. Or will this work? Can I remove it from the screen and then recreate it later?
Sorry, remove what from the screen?
So I want it to show up once you you can see what thing you've gotten. I set the lifespan to 0. And I want it to go away after a sec.
Okay. So I think the easiest thing to do would just be in an on-destroyed handler, save the image.
Okay, sure, yeah. I want to save the entire sprite though.
No, you can't do that. If it has a lifespan, it's going to be destroyed. Once a sprite is destroyed, it cannot be undestroyed.
All right.
No, I just said rip. Sorry.
No. That's fine. I will recreate it in the.
Otherwise, we'd have chaos.
Okay, so I'm setting the lifespan to half a second, and then I'm going to do an undestroyed handler, and I'm going to make a copy of it. Undestroyed sprite of kind item. So, and I'm going to make this a different kind, I guess. With the same image. And I'm doing this just so that we can add additional information. So for now, the information we need to know is we need to know whether this is a common or uncommon item, because that's going to affect the game later. So yeah, I think that works. And which of these effects is most like a sparkle?
Joey?
A sparkle? I think of the trail probably because that's all the colors, but.
It's not moving though.
Oh.
Will it?
It won't move unless you make the sprite move. Unless you make another sprite and like a projectile and make that with a lifespan and send it downwards.
Confetti's quite good.
Yeah.
Okay. And then right, and then I made a copy of it, and that copy is visible. So item invisible on. Great. Okay. So now when you overlap this, we're going to start a race. Functions. Start race. Done. All right. So to do that, I need to change this tile map. Oh man. Should have used the tile maps extension to begin with.
You can copy paste now. Oh wait, this isn't beta, is it? Open in beta.
All right. Copy paste tile maps works in beta?
Yeah.
I added it, so assuming it's been bumped, it should work.
Let's see.
Sure, it's been bumped. Ooh, we might have to pick random from array with this block too. We shouldn't use that though. Yay!
Cool. So
You
I
might
need to
want to
switch.
just go to beta and then reopen the project. Sometimes, I'm not sure what this bug is, but sometimes when you go to beta on the same project, it gets a little.
Mm-hmm.
Drawing cards is so hard. I can't do it in regular drawing. Pixels. Hard.
Oh man, awesome. Best feature. Cool. So I need to switch back and forth between the like world tile map and the game tile map. I might make a function for this also. Is that tile map, and it's going to take in a string. And then I'm just gonna, for now, switch between. So if the scene equals world, or I guess race, world. So here's our world. And then we're going to call it here. And then otherwise, we're going to be in a race. And what that's going to look like is a bunch of roads, I think. Yeah, or yeah, let's do this. And then I think along the bottom, I'm going to do just a different kind of tile, dirt. Okay, so I think for now, what I'm going to do is you press the button to go faster, and the uncommon ones will speed up more than the common ones will. If that seems reasonable.
Yeah, I like it.
Pay to win cars.
Sorry?
Pay to win cars.
And then I need a starting tile. So I'm going to go to our miscellaneous. I'm going to grab this one. Nope. I'm going to just draw a bad copy of this road. Or, oh no, I could do a checkerboard.
Oh my gosh, high efficiency.
Hmm?
High efficiency pixel art.
Oh, yeah, checkerboards are the best. All right. Great. Starting line. And then I guess I'll need a special one for you. So we'll duplicate this and just make it like a slightly different color. Okay, so great. Over here we call start race, and the start race function sets the tile map. Cool. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the player character and disable the controller for them. So when you're in race mode, the owl will be not movable, and they're going to be invisible and also a ghost. Invisible on, ghost on. Great. And I'm going to undo all of this when you go back into the world. So invisible off, ghost off. And then when you start the race, we set the tile map, and then on top of, oh, right. So what's happening is I'm trying to set the owl to invisible off before I create the owl, and that was causing an error. Cool. Start race, and then on top of the special tile, I'm going to place the item that we saved on the owl earlier, which is called, goodness. Here it is, just item. All right, so I can get the object stored on the owl. And I need to get the sprite from the object. And I'm going to place it on top of the start tile, and I'm going to set it to be, so I guess I should make a variable car. And I'm going to set it to be visible. Invisible off, and then on top of the other ones, I'm going to just make some random cars. So I want an array of all of the other starting tiles, and then for each of them, I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to do cars from our car thing. So they're going to be like standard cars.
Instead of cool cars.
Yeah. New variable NPC car. And I'm going to put it on top of the current location. All right, so now if I oh no, what's happening? On sprite of kind player overlaps other sprite of kind. Oh, I'm setting it up before I do the tile map.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Monster track. Cool. Monster track. So then I'm going to start a countdown. Scene. 3 seconds. And when the countdown ends, the race will start. On countdown end. I'm going to give each of these cars a slightly random velocity forward. So for element value of sprites of kind car, I'm going to set the cars VX to a random number between.
You set VY.
VY, thank you. And 90. And then let's see. If you're in the race, I guess I'll just use the B button for this. On B button pressed. So I'll put some like protection flags around to make sure you can't start ahead of time or break anything. But for now, I'm just going to change your cars. VX by 10. Let me just see if this race concept works, and then we'll. Nope. Oh, right, I don't have a car. Okay, cool. So then I think I'm going to modify this to have a finish line, which is going to be a different set of stripes. Just like sure.
Gosh, I'm really bad at drawing things that are cars.
Okay.
Could you just make the whole thing a little wider and do a camera follow? Then
Ooh,
wouldn't
yeah.
that make it more interesting?
That's the wrong dimension. Cool. Okay. Oh, I love having copy paste. Okay, so then I need to end the race whenever one of the other cars or your car crosses. And if you lose the race, you don't get any money. And if you win the race, then you get some more coins.
That's just the way.
Yeah. So on sprite of kind, this is wrong. I need to do the tile map overlaps. On sprite of kind car overlaps the finish tile, and then on sprite of kind bought item, I'm pretty sure is what it was called. Cool. And then here I'm also going to set a variable that is current. Cool. So if you are in the race, current scene equals race, then we will leave the scene and destroy all of the world. And because I added the tile maps extension, I have this convenient destroy sprites of all kind. So I'm going to destroy all of the cars, and I'm going to make our car invisible again. So oops. Great. And I'm going to do the same thing here, basically the exact same thing. So I'm actually just going to copy this entire thing, but I'm also going to change our score. By 5. Okay. but we did get points, so that's cool. Okay, where is our start race code? Scene, camera follow. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna add more cars, I think we have.
Yeah, it's got 3 more, I think, in the chat.
3 more, perfect. 2 more common ones and 1 more uncommon one. And then nice.
I think it speaks for itself.
Wait, I'm confused. Is that Frosty the Snowman being a firefighter?
It's a pickup truck that's hauling a snowman.
Okay, cool. The other way was very sad.
Oh wow!
I also thought Frosty the Snowman driving the truck. So.
Isn't that the truck?
Yeah, it makes sense now.
And then, whoops. Oh yeah, that was the male one. Got the tank.
No, there's 1 more, though.
Is Vivian's?
Yeah.
I posted one.
Oh man, nice.
Car.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's bi-directional. You can go in both directions.
Okay, so I think I can very quickly. I'm just going to do acceleration. All right. So for uncommon ones, it's going to be 10. For common ones, it's going to be 5. We've not checked these numbers. And then I'm going to, oh man, I might add the sprite data anyway. It does seem, there's no way to do it without having that extra object layer, right?
Well, I mean, you can just use the object and not put it on a sprite, but yeah.
Yeah, I could just use this acceleration number. Yeah. They are all global. Cool. Okay. So I'm going to set the number. So I'm setting the sprite, and then I'm also setting the overall on the object to our global variable acceleration. And then I have this car, and I think, where am I doing acceleration? Here. So I think this should do it. Get number. Maybe I should have stored it on the sprite instead of on the owl, but okay. Yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
2 people. Right. This was a common one, so I should be slower. Yep. Oh, goodness.
You can do it.
Oh. What is happening? It queued up the button events?
Can we check the change scene code?
We're out of time, unfortunately.
Yeah. So I will clean this up a little bit, but I feel like the bones of it are there. But thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm Shannon. I'm at Checkout on the MakeCode forums.
I'm Daryl at Darzu on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Joey at JWonderl on the MakeCode forums.
I'm Richard at Richard on the MakeCode forums.
And I'm Vivian at LibCheerful on the MakeCode forums.
Bye.